Urad and Tuar, we have an interesting question from one of the leading dal millers in Delhi. And this is a question for Mr. Singh. It is, why is mung still restricted? Prices are skyrocketing in India. This is what the question is.
First of all, I want to disagree that prices are skyrocketing. Skyrocketing is a very intense word. There was some increase last week, about 10 days. We have adequate stocks in the buffer, and only yesterday, a day before yesterday, it has been decided to release a lot of stock from the buffer to cool down the prices.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's get on with the panels. First of all, good evening, everybody. I'd like to thank OTA Myanmar and Shyam Narsaria, the president, for having invited me to moderate this webinar. We have an all-star panel as far as Tuar is concerned. And our speakers today are Manoj Chaudhary from Myanmar, Manohar Bhojwani from India, and Mr. Mahesh Gidia from Africa. Manoj has an overall experience of 18 years in trading. He started his career at the young age of 23 as a trader, and he currently serves as the country head for Sun Impex International, which is one of the leading trading companies based out of Singapore. We are also the title sponsor for this webinar. Mr. Chaudhary also serves as the secretary for OTA Myanmar. Introducing Mr. Manohar Bhojwani, who is the CEO for Diet Foods International. He is also the CEO for Dayalu Dal and Oil Mill. He is a seasoned professional in the pulses and oils market and is based out of Nagpur. Mr. Bhojwani also serves as the managing director of Nagpur Dal Millers Cluster and is the president of Mihan Industries Association. Mr. Mahesh Gedia is based in Lilongwe in Malawi, is a science graduate from Saurashtra University in Rajkot, and currently serves as the executive director at Bajrang International Group, as well as he is the MD for the group companies like Sun Gold Food Processing, Lilongwe Plastic Packaging, and Paramount Commodities. Prior to joining Bajrang International, Mr. Gedia has had extensive stints with the central government of India and with the ETG group in Tanzania as well as Malawi. Mr. Gedia's extroverted and customer-centric leadership has allowed him to build strong customer loyalty and grow the organization's market share on a consistent basis. He has a proven management style guiding businesses through growth and retaining high-performance teams to develop and implement his strategies. That said, I'd first like to go to Mr. Manoj Chaudhary, who's going to be giving us an introduction on Myanmar, what the crop size is, what the outlook is. So over to you, Manoj.
Thank you, Vasalji. Minglawa, Namaskar, and good evening to all the viewers. I will be giving a short presentation and outlook about the Myanmar origin. I am serving as a country head for Sun Impacts. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Myanmar is an agriculture country, and agriculture sector is the backbone of its economy. Agriculture sector almost contributes 40% of its GDP. In Myanmar, there are different types of beans and pulses has been producing, including black mape, pigeon peas, green mung beans, chana, soya bean, rajma, adzuki beans, lub, nylon, bamboo beans, and many such others. Out of beans, urad, tur, mung contributes the major portion. Almost 70 to 75% of this is urad and tur and mung. If we consider the total production of tur in Myanmar, in this 80 to 90% has been exports to exports to India. So mainly the domestic prices in Myanmar highly depends on the India's demand. Apart from this, pulses also improves the efficiency and resilience of the cropping system. It gives the nitrogen and other minerals to the soil. Next slide, please. About tur, pigeon peas are called by many names in Indian regional languages like arhar in Hindi, togri bela in Kannada, tur in Bengali, turi in Marathi, kandlu in Telugu. If we consider as a nutritional part, tur is an excellent source for proteins, iron, vitamins like A, vitamins B6, calcium, magnesium, potassium, and many other such minerals. Out of the world's total production, India produces more than 65% of Tur, and rest is followed by the Africa and Myanmar. Next slide, please. Mainly Tur growing areas in Myanmar. Tur grows mainly as a monsoon crop, and growing time is in June, July, and harvested time is in December, January, and February. It is almost a 6 months crop. Main areas in Tur is Mandle, Zagai, Magwe, and Chin State. Chin States mainly produces Linke quality Tur, and other states like Pokoku, Monjwa, Aolong, Chopada, Methila, Minanje, Pe, Chause, which produces the lemon qualities. Next slide, please. There are different varieties of the Tur produces in Myanmar, like lemon, Linke Shefla, Malay Shefla, Shwebo, Zagai, red and white, small and bold, and also there is some like double nose or Chindi Tur, what we call. But in the recent times, due to the India demand is mostly for the lemon, the other crop size has been decreases a lot. Like double nose and Malay has been reduces a lot. Red and white is very difficult to find. A basic difference between the Linke Tur and lemon Tur is about the size is uniform in Linke Tur. It is having a less damage percentage. So mostly the Tur Shefala is been preferred by the miller side. And the lemon, it is a tradable commodity and it has been very easy to sell in India. So highly demand is for lemon. Next, please. Now I give you some numbers about the stocks. Like from last year, like India has extended this import till March 2023. So the production in Myanmar is almost double compared to the production in year 2021. Similarly, this year also India has extended its import to till March 2024. So we are hoping to have increase in the sowing area. So maybe in the coming years, the numbers or quantity may increase or surplus than the 300,000 in the future years. Currently, we are considering the opening stock is approximately 15,000 metric ton, and we are estimating the crop size around 280 to 290,000 metric ton. As we all know, the Tur mainly depends on India. So all the prices and everything, its domestic market is totally dependent on the India demand and requirement. To some extent, this Tur is also exported from Myanmar is to Nepal and UAE. Having a consistent import policy from India will also help a consistent production increase in Myanmar, which will help to cater the Indian demand in a big way. As per the market information for the current year, more than 2,500 containers had already been traded for the new crop for the different period of shipment. That is approximately 60,000 metric ton is already been traded here. Also, just like to raise that issue once again for LDC, and also like to thank Mr. His Excellency Rohit Kumar ji that to taking it as a positively and taking some steps on the that 10% duty matter, so that in Tur the trade become more feasible and more easy from these two countries like Myanmar and Africa. Next one, sir. I'd like to thank you Sun Impacts for giving me an opportunity, and also will like to thank OTA President Mr. Sham Narsaria and Vice President Mr. Anand Charjat for providing the necessary inputs in this. At the end, I would also like to thank Indian government for extending the OGL till March 2024. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Manoj. We have a few questions for you. Can you walk us through your crop estimation method? Because I think it is very important that people know how exactly we've come to these numbers. So can you just walk us through it?
Vasalji, now like seeing you, it's like facing a 1980s West Indies fast bowler, getting a bouncers right now. Okay, it's like we have a different research here. Like we had discussed with different traders in local suppliers in Myanmar. Yangon, who exports a maximum tur. Also in a different regions like tur, like actually tur is also started coming from December end. So we have discussed so many peoples in the different range areas that what is the daily coming and all that thing. So with that we have estimated, and last year's export and import data, we have come to this figure.
Okay, understood. I think that is a good answer so that people at least know as to, how you arrived at these numbers. Can you tell us as to what the weather has been like this year and how the quality is for the current crop? And also, once that is done, as to what the logistics situation is currently out of Myanmar.
Currently, like in starting, like when the Monjwa and some recent crop started, it was a bit smaller in size regarding the quality concern. But now the quality is very uniform and it is good, and the weather is excellent. So we are looking at this year the quality, there won't be any issue. And referring to the logistics sector, like sir, as His Excellency has already said that a Situate port has been developed. So maybe in the coming months, we may have some shipments from Situate to Chennai or Situate to Calcutta. Due to the transit time will be very less from that particular sector. It's almost only a day or two.
Okay, noted. Excellent. Now tell us, the government of India has put tur into OGL till March 2024. Will this make a substantial difference in the planting of tur for the 24 crop? We've already seen, I think, a fair amount of planting increase for this year. But do you think there'll be a further increase? Because the sowing will happen in June, July of this year, which is when, the OGL will still be in effect for the next 9 months after that.
Yes, I'm thinking that this is the very positive step taken by the Indian government, and at a very right time, that Myanmar people will know that even the OGL is till March 2024. Their crop will start mid of December 2023, new crop. So in 3 months can be exported. So yes, definitely looking that the sowing may increase. What we have seen the last year, it is almost the double of 2021. So
Okay.
maybe this year 20 to 30% sowing may increase.
Okay, understood. Excellent. And where do you see the prices for Feb, March, April for tur lemon on a CNF Chennai basis? What do you see the range to be?
See, currently the CNF Chennai is trading around 825 to 830 levels, and the local prices for the in India for the March is around 6900, 6950 level, and local tur prices are going around 72 to 75 in between the area wise. So it's still they have a chance that it can go up to $20-25 plus minus from here.
Okay. And what about the flow in the market as far as the new crop is concerned? I mean, do we see peak arrivals at this point, or are we already past that point?
No. The arrivals will start, already started, and peak arrival will, like all the area, like Along and Pakoko area has started now for the tour. So, this Shefla and Malay area, this will come now.
Okay, so we can say that all the arrivals are not finished as yet, correct?
No, yes, correct. It's not yet finished.
And there is a possibility for the prices to either remain at this level or even possibly go down a little bit once the arrivals from Monjwa and Pakoko start.
See, it's totally depend on the India's means demand. But currently, what we look at means demand from India side, like 800 CNF Chennai is more or less bottom side, and till March, April, 845, 8 level is a higher side. Maybe some more plus minus will be there. It totally depends on the market demand, how it gets from India side.
And what is the freight at the moment, container freight into Chennai?
Container freight into Chennai is depend on $22 to $26 per metric ton. Direct, indirect vessel conditions separate.
Okay, so how much is it per container?
Per container, it is around 550 to 650 level between.
Okay, indirect and direct.
Yeah.
And are you able to get as many containers as you would like to have?
Yeah, right now there is no shortage of any book containers.
Okay. Okay, excellent, Manoj. Thank you so much. I'd now like to go to Mr. Manohar Gujrati for his presentation. Over to you, Mr. Manohar.
Yeah, good evening, everybody joined globally. First of all, we welcome Shri Rohit Kumar Singh Ji, Secretary, Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, and Mr. Vinay Kumar Ji, Ambassador of Myanmar for India, for this joining for this important webinar, which is going to be an important commodity across the globe, and it is very sensitive for the consumers of India. And also we congratulate the entire team of OTA for organizing an important webinar at this time when the harvest is going on in India, and everybody wants to know what the pricing scenario will go and how the market trends will go. So presently we'll present a short PPT about this. But before that, I want to request Mr. Singh that regarding this again, that BCD issue, and again there is a problem which is we are facing of this clearance regarding this BCD term is there. So again we request you from the Indian importer side that please take care of this issue so that we can seamlessly import the tour from Burma and present it to entire this consumer committee. So now we start with the my presentation. Short presentation is there. Next slide.
You can go to the next slide, Afaq.
Vasalji, I think his screen is frozen, so maybe you can take it up.
Please go for next slide.
Okay, I'm not able to see the screen, unfortunately. I don't know why that is so. Maybe I pressed something wrongly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Vasalji, you are on screen. Please continue.
Okay, so Manoj, have you finished your presentation? Because I lost you for a while.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we have a few questions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to see the questions that were posted, and I'll leave it to Pradeep to ask those questions.
Yeah,
But
no,
I have-
presentation is right now with me
Oh, okay,
on the
sorry.
screen. So see this tour acreage from 14-15, 15-16, 16-17, 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, 21-22, 22-23. So the highlighting thing is that there was an increase in product by hectare, lakh hectare in 16-17, 5.34, and output yield was 9 quintal 13 kg per hectare. And now in 22-23, the most important thing is 22-23, which we are expecting all the details for this thing. It is area is 4 million 4.54 million hectare, and production is -3 million lakh ton. This is very important thing where we are concerned about. Next slide. And there is a state-wise production data. Karnataka, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Jharkhand, and Odisha. The important is mostly Karnataka and Maharashtra, where we have in Karnataka 21-22 14.5 million hectare, and Maharashtra 13.20 million hectare in 21-22. In 22-23 it is 14 million hectare, and next is Maharashtra 11.65. The year over change is 3.25 negative in say Karnataka and 11.98 in Maharashtra. This is very important thing to note, to be noted. And again the effect on yield also. There is a slightly decrease in yield also. So this is very important things to note it down, because these are the two important states from where we get the tour.
Mr. Bhojwani, are you done with your presentation? Hello?
Vasalji, I think his connection is weak, so maybe you can continue.
Okay, so let's go on to Mr. Mahesh Gedia. Mahesh, would you like to start your presentation? We can come back to Mr. Bhojwani.
Yeah, that's fine, Vatsalji.
Sorry?
That's fine.
Okay, please start your presentation.
There's some noises coming. Good evening and namaste. Slide, please. First of all, His Excellency Sri Rohit Kumar Singh Ji, His Excellency Sri Vinay Kumar Ji, OTA President, all members and all protocol observed. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I like to present Africa story, basically for PGNP's outlook. Myself Mahesh Gedia, and I'm Executive Director at Bajrang International Group, BIG. From past 23 years, I'm residing in Africa and dealing in agriculture commodity. Currently, I am based in Malawi, Central Africa, which is called the warm heart of Africa, with a beautiful and peaceful country, with kind and polite people with beautiful hearts. So I'd like to invite you all to welcome and visit Malawi. Thank you very much. And next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thank you. I like to give brief about our group, Bajrang International, global pulses outlook, African pulses market, India import status for PGNP out of Africa, and impact on Africa pulses post Indian government policy changes. This is our about Bajrang is our mission is to develop and expand a diversified and innovative, fully integrated, sustainable value chain that impacts, benefit, and strengthens the livelihood of smallholders in Africa, alongside delivering sustainable commercial rates. We are focused and committed to development and value addition in Africa. We will achieve this by investing and operating projects that have a direct economic and social impact for our employees and their families, as well as smallholders and other value chain participants. This approach will ensure sustainable benefit to all stakeholders. Next slide, please. This is our business overlook. You can able to see some photograph, which is for business activity. We have 3 core business cluster, with each having synergy value for the group. Our main business cluster is agro cluster, and we are sourcing, processing, and trading agriculture commodities from Africa to the rest of the world. Second cluster is a packaging cluster, where we have PP bag production and packaging, which helps in reduction of post-harvest and wastage. Third cluster is for engineering and construction. Next slide, please. This is a global pulses outlook. As you can see, the global production is 90 to 92 million metric ton. African production is near about 20 to 22 million metric ton. India production is a 23 to 24 million metric ton. And global export is between 11 to 12 million metric ton. The global production is not directly in line with the global export. It is a traded volume. Indian import of pulses has gone down from 5.6 million metric ton in 2017 to 18 to around 814,000 metric ton in 2021-2022, is from April to March 22. Next slide, please. Next is the African pulses market. In terms of volume, pulses export from Africa is negligible compared to Canada, Russia, Myanmar, and Australia. Still, it plays a major role when it comes to export of pigeon peas, green gram, and desi chickpeas. Total pulses export out of Africa is around 1 to 1.5 million metric ton. The commodity-wise breakup is like under. If you can see, the pigeon peas is mainly grown in Malawi, Mozambique, Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, and Sudan. And the volume is nearly about 400 to 500,000 metric ton. Chickpeas mainly grown in Sudan, Ethiopia, and Tanzania. And the total volume is nearly about 300 to 400,000 metric ton. Green gram mainly is Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, and Ethiopia, and the volume is between 150 to 200,000 metric ton. Next slide, please. This is a Indian import status for pigeon peas. Pigeon peas import into India country-wise is as stated below, like Mozambique. Last year, 2021 to 2022 is approximately 320,000 metric ton. Tanzania is around 191,000. From Malawi, approximately 59,000. Sudan, 49,000. Uganda is 6,000 and Kenya 375. While up to November 23, Mozambique is 198,000 metric ton. But if we reach by March, I think it is going to hit nearly about 300 to 350,000 metric ton. Tanzania is 76,000 metric ton from 191,000 ton. Tanzania crop was good, but there is a drought in Kenya, and a lot of pigeon peas also. The border is very open. So a lot of pigeon peas is going to Kenya side, and then that's the reason we can able to see there is a less export from the Tanzania. Malawi is 37,000 up to November, and I think by March is going to be hit the same level of last year. Sudan is 23,000, and Uganda 240, and Kenya like a 0. You can see Mozambique, Tanzania, Malawi, and Sudan is playing a bigger role for pulses for the export. Next slide, please. This is an impact on African pulses post Indian government policy changes. Compared to the developed nations, African pulses are produced by smallholder farmers. As we know that in Africa, majority is a small scale farmers, and they are using their handheld tools by method of the growing and harvesting, and have managed to maintain their importance in the Indian pulses market, even though the volume are relatively small. And mainly the farmers, they are growing to just fill their need and not for the business purposes as such, as a commercial business. Restrictions imposed by government of India in import of pulses has changed the dynamic, and the production of pigeon peas has dropped in Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda as farmers struggle to find a market because major market is India. Whereas the production in Malawi and Mozambique has gone up due to a bilateral agreement between the government of Mozambique and Malawi. Last year, I understand the bilateral the agreement is signed by Tanzania and Malawi with the Indian government. And now we know that it is an open import policy, so it helps Africa. And we have like the cross-border trades is happening between the Mozambique and Malawi, because as I said, is a very relaxed borders between all African countries. So we like to congratulate Indian government that they open up for the import policy, which is really assisting Africa. And that is our request. And we recommend and request that pigeon peas should be permanently removed from the restricted commodity item list, as it does not compete with Indian farmers in any manner, nor that they can double or triple the production overnight, because it's a handheld, the tools they are using. So it's not possible for them to do the overnight. And again, we need to understand the Africa is very fast, so the information coming from the India is get a time, and for the farmers is required also the enough time to grow enough pigeon peas. Unlike like Russia, Canada, Australia, and other developed economy, which they can able to increase the production immediately. Hence, I like to request that government of India should not have any fear with regard to African imports into India and the competition with Indian farmers. And we like to urge to government of India to support Africa and the African market and African farmers. With next slide, please. With this, I like to say a big thank you for this opportunity, and like to request captain of this industries that if there is any data mistake or any suggestion or any comment or business inquiry, please feel free to contact me through my number or email to at least upgrade my knowledge as well. Once again, thank you very much for your attention.
Mahesh Bhai, thank you so
very
much for your presentation. Mahesh Bhai, thank you for your presentation. Before we get on to the questions, I just want to make an announcement that we, on the right-hand side of all the viewers, there is a console for Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can put them and then we will take them on depending on the time that permits us. Now, before I get on to questions to Mahesh Bhai, there was a question asked for Manoj, and Mr. Rakesh Jain would like to know as to what is the breakup between the production of lemon and Linkhe in Myanmar. Manoj, can you brief us as to what the split of the production is between these two qualities?
Sir, lemon is majorly lemon is there. Approximately 75 to 80% is lemon, and Linkhe contributes around 15 to 18%. So
Okay.
if we go by the number, it is approximately 50, means not more than 20,000 ton will be there Linkhe.
Okay, thank you. Mahesh Bhai, we have a few questions for you. We have heard of a lot of stories on logistical challenges last year for shipments out of Africa. Can you please tell us what they are and how they were addressed by the shippers? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vatsalji. I can reply in a simple way. You know that always the people and companies are giving more preference to rich countries and not the poor country because of more profitability. All we know that due to COVID, for 2 years, entire world supply chain was disrupted on a large scale. Therefore, as soon as the COVID got over, demand for various products to developed nations increased sharply. Hence, most of the shipping companies neglected Africa and focused on trades out of China to USA and rest of the world. Importation of Africa was dropped down because of the forex scarcity and many other reasons. Hence, there was a shortage of containers. In Africa, we have limited port facility and storage facility, road infrastructure, transportation issue, fuel scarcity. So such logistic challenges are there. However, we from Africa, started, when you have some challenge, you can try to find some solution for that. And we started shipping the cargo in bulk to overcome from the shortage of containers. We feel that the current container rate is on a higher side. And we expect that in next couple of years, the export would be a combination of bulk and containerized shipment. Thank you very much, Vatsalji.
Thank you so much. Lovely answer. We have one more question for you, or two more actually. We've seen a huge price difference last year in the month of August, September, October between the African Tuar and Myanmar lemon. At one point, it was almost about $150 a ton. Do you think such a difference is justified?
Thank you. Let me explain, and I think the captain of the industries can decide that justification. When we have a structure and controlled market versus a free market, rate difference is there and is justified. It is like, you are buying the same product from a supermarket and when you are buying from the street vendor. So when you are buying from the supermarket, you see the price and you are not negotiating at all. While the street vendors, you are trying to negotiate. So I think that is the simple answer. But I can say it is a trend pattern. However, the trend has been set due to the following reason. One, if you can see that Africa has a very relaxed policy and a free environment for business, and anyone can buy, sell, or export the cargo out of Africa. As you know, many of our Indian, Dubai, and Singapore broker and our company come Africa during the season for 2-3 months. Buy and export is possible. Unlike Myanmar, where you have to remit 100% advance to the indigenous supplier, this has created a little bit monopoly and also speculation in the trade, and their holding power for the Myanmar holding power has a capacity to trade across the year, whereas in Africa, we do the trading during the season normally. The small farmers, whatever they produce, they try to sell their produce in the window of maximum 2 or 3 months. And maximum exports is happen within the 4 to 6 months. Second thing is that the African varieties are bold and little difficult to process compared to Myanmar, which is quite similar in size in comparison to like Indian Tour. Hence, it fetches a little premium over the African Tour. So the difference goes big as the demand and supply varies. Thank you, Vatsalji. Hello.
Maheshji, there's one more question for you. Is what is the current freight from Africa to Nhava Sheva and Chennai?
Recent, I think I need to check that one, Pradeep ji. I do not have in my
An
mind.
approximation or a range?
Really, no, really, I need to check that one, the current one.
Okay. Okay. You can let us know, then we can share it with the participants.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Manojji Bhojani sahab, you were saying something?
Yeah, I'm telling you, there are some statistical mistakes are there. So can you start my PPT so that we can verify these statics regarding crop of scenario of India and share of Burma and of Africa. There is a comparison data is given there, and it is
Sir,
taken from
Bhojani sahab, I think we'll go with the data that the individual countries have presented currently.
right.
And any questions that are coming in and need to be addressed, we'll get answers on email and then share them with you, with everybody.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, Maheshji, Bhojwani sahab and Chaudhary sahab.